This video will demonstrate some of the basic features of the MentiPlus browser extension, which works together with the Mentimeter voting platform. Now we are looking at a Mentimeter slide from a question that has been voted on by an audience, and you can see the relative frequencies of votes for the different answer options. So this is a slide without the MentiPlus extension turned on. If you were to turn on the MentiPlus extension, the slide will look like this. You can notice that all the columns now have the same color, and that is because in MentiPlus you can highlight individual columns, each with their own color. Let's say that you have posed a question and you know that one of the answers is right, or maybe two of the answers are correct, and you want this to show this very clearly to the audience. You can do this by highlighting a column, and you do that by right-clicking or control-clicking one of the columns that you want to highlight. And let's say that this is the correct answer, then you might want to highlight it in green color. Let's say that this is also correct. And let's say that this is incorrect. And this answer might be somewhat ambiguous. So you have an option of 3 different colors to highlight the various columns with. And you can remove one color, like this, or you can remove all the highlight colors by the clear all command, and then you will be back at this baseline color. You can also highlight one of the columns with a focus frame, like this. You do that by double-clicking the column. If you, for instance, want to take the audience through each of the different options that they have been offered, you want only one of the options to be highlighted. So maybe you first will talk about this option, and then you double-click the next column, and then the frame will disappear from the first column and will move to the next. And so this is a convenient way to highlight only one column at a time. And if you want the focus frame to go away entirely, you can double-click again, or you can right-click and choose the clear option. The colors that are offered in this contextual menu can be changed by the user, by you, by going to the options page. That will be shown in a different video. And this highlighting will also be preserved if you want to choose to go to another layout, as you can do here in the Mentimeter sidebar menu. So if you want to switch to a donut layout, you see that the segments here are still highlighted with their various colors, and you can also add a focus frame to one of the segments. And if you go back to or if you choose another layout, like a pie layout, the highlightings are also preserved. However, the dots layout is not supported by MentiPlus as of now. And you see that the focus frame is not kept when you go back to the bars view. The other formattings will be preserved. So this is about how to highlight columns or other elements that show the votings. MentiPlus can also format the x-axis text down here. Sometimes that is very tiny, and you would like maybe to increase the size. What you do is you right click or control click one of the text elements here, and then you have a new menu. This menu gives you the options to increase the size of the text, for instance, so as to make it more visible. But you can also see that when you increase the text as much as here, the x-axis will be very crowded. You can do something about that by tilting the angle of the text. And then you will also have to change the position, vertical and horizontal position of the text. And now you can make it fit nicely, even though the text is quite large. So now I have changed the formatting of this slide quite extensively, and it might be that I regret this, and I would like to go back to the slide exactly as it were before I started applying the MentiPlus formattings. And that is now very easy, because you can click the disable option. And now you can see that all of the formattings have gone back to the baseline, and this slide is now indistinguishable from a slide without MentiPlus, except that here you can right click again and choose enable, and you will be back to all the formattings that you selected. One last option that you have with MentiPlus is that with questions with images. Behind this image there is the answers to a question, and sometimes you want to hide the answers during voting. But as you can see here, this image is not rendered in a very large size. If you right click it, MentiPlus will offer yet another menu, a very tiny one. Here you can just increase the size of the image, or you can decrease it. And if you increase it enough, you will have the image being stretched, as you can see here, and you might want to avoid that by not expanding it anymore, or maybe you're fine with this stretching as long as the image gets larger. That is up to you. But this can be useful if the image on such a slide is not shown in a very large size. So these were the different basic functions of the MentiPlus browser extension. Thank you for your attention.